so I think this is a hard knife. This can only give Pulla a little more play every day. EDC is like eating a Westfly. Hi all, I'm Brother Hi. The long-awaited from the airline to the ribbon is here again. Today is still our 15 EDC carts. Okay, let's start with the first knife. From Max S's house. Compared with the first 2 generations of capsules, this knife is the 3rd generation of capsules. Its most important upgrade is this magnet. The patch used to be fixed with screws. This time it was changed to magnetic suction fixation, which can be said to be a double-edged sword. There is a slight mineral feeling. Although this does not affect the player's play, however, it will still cause some small impact on everyone's hearts. He later updated this Malaysian patch. If you install it, he will not have this problem with this amount of minerals, but this patch weighs more than this tie. It will cause some problems with the counterweight of your knife. The center of gravity of the whole knife is unbalanced. So I don't think it's a particularly reasonable solution. Of course, the overall shape and appearance of this knife, including its opening method, there is no problem at all. More than 1,000 selling prices titanium alloy patches. The titanium alloy lining M398 cutter head has been treated with DLC. On the whole, give the master the 200th knife. From a Japanese brand, Legacy. This knife may be very familiar to many friends. Not that it is particularly familiar, and maybe many friends only stay in some introductions to Taobao stores. This is a brand of made in Japan. This knife is made of steel. Then its patches and knife heads are all treated like this. But because this Malaysia does not do this DLC processing. I don't know if you can see this when it is close to the root. I can already see some rust, and the whole knife is relatively thin. Whether it is an inner lining or the overall design of this patch, there is a sense of design. But the overall materials are not sincere. And this nail screw hollow backbone design in it. There is a certain gap in the price of more than 1,000. So this comprehensive consideration, only one NPC can be given. Then the third one I saw was a harpoon from this PKB. This is also a knife that Brother Shi recently started. You can always trust that PKB is a knife that can be used by everyone. You can see that it is a titanium alloy surface, plus an M398 toughener. It is the practice effect of this kind of battle damage. But the battle damage of this knife is only its appearance. This core is still meticulous and refined. Hold it in your hand. Every position you touch makes this rounded corner. There is not the slightest pull. Then its design snowgrass hole and these weight reduction holes are all completely parallel. Then its surgery experience is very smooth. Sometimes we buy some domestic knives for internships. Let's not say who they are. When you open it, you will have a sizzling grinding edge. The voice seller will tell you that it is because he did an internship. So he was unfair. But PKB will not have this problem at all. Of course, this knife is a toy EDC knife. Its opening and closing methods are still a bit small. You can only use this push button, including a push knife hole that pops open. There are only these 2 ways to open and close. So overall, it gives a top level. Then there is this single knife tie carved cold paste. When I evaluated blood before, I gave a relatively low score, gave an NPC, and then some fans said that they felt it was low. Then he said to send me the cold pulp and let me evaluate it again. The first thing I saw was the engraving of the knife. This is a 3-color sky cave carving of titanium alloy. This carving is very fine. And this fish carving is also very lifelike. The whole feeling, including behind it, the feeling of this unique cold pulp snow is also very suitable for its theme. I think the shape of this knife is very, very good. Nothing to fault. But the opening and closing of this knife, I still find it spicy. First of all, this rear quick opening. There is no way to do some other opening and closing of this power type. Because this flipper is very short. So if you open and close your thumb, it's very easy to get out of your hand. Because it is also a carving board, it is not suitable for the price. You can basically only use this way of opening and closing. And this front fast opening is even more inexplicable. Look at me, don't talk about one hand. It may be very difficult for me to open with both hands. There is no good experience in both ways of opening this knife. Although it has a nice shape, but on the whole, this knife can only be given to one person. Then there is the same carved version of the gold of Beishan 10,000 Taels. A titanium carving. The surface finish of an M390 cutter head engraving is very smooth. The overall feeling is very moist in the hand. And I have also made a video introduction to this knife before. I think it opens and closes very smoothly and is full of power. And it's very easy, although it's only front fast. But this front is fast opening, giving people a very good experience. So in terms of the overall point of this knife, I can give a ram down One is also a national level divine sword. Is this three-edged wood? 912. This is an imitation of a knife of the Great Killing, but it is made of steel. I think it's a low imitation. But the most amazing thing about this knife is that its price is completely one. Zhang Nei's imitation form can achieve such a state of godlikeness. Then a freshly practiced handle, plus this matte finish of this blade, plus this push button and its cutting feel, including the integrity of this knife. I think it's completely worth its price. Of course, I cut down the real building I got my hands on. He is still completely incomparable to his genuine one. If you have money, there is no problem in buying this genuine version. If you just want to find a handful of this cheap. The starter has a knife with a simple design language. I think this knife is also a good choice. Taken together, I think its price and its performance can be given to the top. A knife from Ioko's family. I don't know what it's called. It is a 3-open folding knife, ice crystal ties cake material. Then it is equipped with an S35 VN cutter head. This price is about 600 yuan, and the price is to push the button to open quickly. There are front quick opens, rear quick openings. The 3 openings are relatively smooth. I saw this knife on the Red Book. I do feel a little photo. I put this circle diagram on you. You can take a look. The overall performance of his knife and the performance of the diagram he gives. I think it's still far from it. And the ginger flavor of the whole knife ice crystal is still a bit strong, including the handling of his screws, including the clarity of its logo. I think it still has one in detail. Summary of a lot of upside. Can only be given to one NPC. Then there is this water and fire in Beishan. This one is a pair. Let's just take out one to demonstrate to you. A copper cake and then a SLD 3-piece box cutter head. To do this kind of fat hand styling, I also specially released a video. Let's not go into details. If you are interested, you can watch this video of mine. There is no problem with the texture of the overall knife opening and closing. I originally thought that this knife could be tamped. But Beishan's quality control still needs to be further strengthened. Including some friends who said that there was this kind of egg laying after buying. Let's give a top one. Then there was an operator from the Schuster family. This knife is priced in the early 200s, a PI handle, plus a 1428 cutter head. This knife was designed by a Ukrainian designer, then produced by this Shuz. I think it has a very good sense of design. It's 2 methods of cutting, whether it is the forehand of our cutting barrel, or is it this kind of backhand surgery with a cut hole, or is this kind of post-opening fast. Including this charging opening, there is no problem at all. It also feels good in the hand. I think there is no problem in giving a top price of more than 200. Then there is another PI which I also made a video. It is the Lucky Knife of CMB+. In fact, it has done a lot of design in terms of practicality. This secondary lock is included. But our evaluation today is still based on this kind of EDC. This knife is on the handle. In addition to the good feel of this push and twist fast, that's all. Then the price including it is close to 300, not low prices. In our usual standard today, only one NPC can be given. Next, let's take a look at it. It is nothing to break except for stabbing customers. This knife with a front quick opening limit bead to limit. This knife is less than the price of one piece, and this matte finish is done on the tip of the knife. He also made a small fake blade and drove it over. This kind of workmanship is matched with this price. I don't think there's any room for fault with this. What do you think it feels like when you open the surgery? I think it's still worse than the better folding road with a handicraft. He had no feedback on the operation. But this knife is left at a price that is less than one cheaper. Including his workmanship, it is completely worthy of this price. Evaluate it by its price. I don't think it can get a top level without any problems. Then there is another one. This one is uncovered. TUV is also an M390. The cutter head and then a titanium cake. When I bought this knife, I took a fancy to its shape. A large razor has a very beautiful shape, and it is a small folding belt without a lock that opens quickly. You see it compared to the assassin just now. His quick start feel is better than his, and his feedback is better than his. But this knife doesn't know this designer. After designing this knife, have you started playing? There is a large awl behind this. This awl causes your knife to be completely impossible to hold in your hand and open it quickly. It's a good knife, you want to do this action. Can't you? This big awl will prick your hand. This can only be used to open the knife. Then you want to use this knife, you want to open a courier. It's not okay to hold it so slippery. A big awl will also prick your hand. You can only use it with this hand. So I don't know about this knife and the design of this awl against humanity. Is this homeopathic useful? This knife was originally a very good looking shape. There is a nice quick opening feel. It was because this big all completely destroyed it. Make this knife unusable. Can't play with it. So I think this is hard. This can only be pulled. And this one is also a small fold. It is a handful of KISM beans. It is a small bean that is commonly used by spiders. Lock it inside, and then use a button to unlock it. This knife is very fun. There is feedback on the operation. Then you can also use the pull lock of the shaft lock to close the knife. Pull the lock and open the knife. A knife can get two pleasures: locking and shaft locking. This knife is originally a thing I think can be obtained. A high score, its only problem. One is its selling price. This knife is probably the lowest configuration priced at $388. A knife ordered like this, a Mikata cake, a 1428 cutter head. This sells for a price of $388. I think it's still high. If your price is $388, your workmanship is fine. This workmanship is also very rough. This clip is included, including the lining you see inside it, including the material used. It is not said. Can be worth the price. I think this knife, because of its price, it can only be given a top-notch one. And finally, I will introduce you to two of these folding sticks. One is this second generation of fragrance that I have also released a video before. The overall play attributes of this stick are good. The feel of opening and closing, very good, and very harmonious. Toys to take out and play with. One of its weighing lock feedback is very strong. Smooth, slippage, the sense of power is all there. But this steel is slightly worse in time, including many friends who reported this problem of brushing their sleeves. I feel like this shouldn't be an M390 steel. In general, I can also give him a good person. The finale was Rissa's new BK3A knocking stick. It is also a folding foot stick. I borrowed this toy from a group of oils. Actually, I didn't want to buy this at the time. Why didn't I buy it? Because I think he is a crowbar. There is only one way to open and close. There is only this kind of quick opening of a single push foot. I don't think it's very fun, but after I got it, I think I underestimated the strength of this Rissa. Although this crowbar only has a single push twist to open quickly, but the feedback of this single push twist is very good. Its buffer is very, very well debugged. It is a crisp and refreshing feeling, including its workmanship, including these materials for its screws, including all this detail in it. As well as this cutter head, we can see what it is. AM390 does this kind of brushing and DLC processing. The texture you give is very, very good. And Ressa has a large number of accessories that can be used on this crowbar. So this crowbar is a comprehensive. I can give it a line. This is our final ranking of today's 15 small folds. From flight to pull, playing EDC every day is like eating and attracting flying. What else do you want to see? You can leave me a message in the comment area. I'm Brother Shi. See you next time.